Greetings, gang, and welcome to our sixth characteristic of leadership, titled Attitude, the Extra Plus in Leadership. Things are directly tied to our own attitude in a lot of circumstances. So I want to play you a clip here from a movie that came out a while ago called Bruce Almighty. And it's a beginning scene where he is having a conversation after a bad day with his girlfriend, played by Jennifer Aniston, and Bruce is played by Jim Carrey. Check out the way that he kind of approaches his attitude towards things versus the way his girlfriend does.
Well, thank God you're all right.
God, yeah, let's thank God, shall we? For his blessings are raining down upon me. Wait, that's not rain!
Bruce, please don't do that, honey. You know that everything happens for a reason.
That I don't need. That is a cliche. That is not helpful to me. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. I have no bird. I have no bush. God has taken my bird and my bush.
Oh, I see. So God is picking on you? Is that what you're saying?
No, he's ignoring me completely. He's far too busy giving Evan everything he wants. Oh, that's great, Sam. But you missed your target. I'm over here.
Get mad at the dog. It's not the dog's fault.
No, it's God's fault. I gave him the wrong coordinates.
You know what? Enough. All right, will you just stop being such a martyr?
I am not being a martyr. I'm a victim. God is a mean kid sitting on an anthill with a magnifying glass, and I'm the ant. He could fix my life in 5 minutes if he wanted to, but he'd rather burn off my feelers and watch me squirm.
All right, sweetheart, I know that you're mad. It's completely understandable. What Evan did was slimy and wrong. But this day could have been so much worse. I'm just glad you're okay.
Okay? Newsflash. I'm not okay. I'm not okay with a mediocre job. I'm not okay with a mediocre apartment. I'm not okay with a mediocre life.
So is that what you think that we have? A mediocre life?
Don't make this about you.
About me? How can I make this about me? It's about you. It's always about you.
Perfect. Perfect. I'll have the worst day of my life with a side order of guilt, please. Okay, God. You want me to talk to you? Come back. Tell me what's going on. What should I do? Give me a signal. I need your guidance, Lord. Please send me a sign. Oh, what's this joker doing now? Okay. All right. I'll try it your way. All right? Lord, I need a miracle. I'm desperate. I need your help, Lord. Please, reach into my life. What the? Hurry up. I got it. Fine! The gloves are off, pal! Come on, let me see a little rat. Smite me, almighty smiter! You're the one who should be fired! The only one around here not doing his job is you!
Well, there you have it. Nothing like some good, honest lament as Bruce was going through. But again, a lot of it has to do with kind of the way he's approaching it. And again, we've all been in that boat in some way, shape, or form. So another part of things I want you to consider is this little exercise. I want you to identify the name of a friend whom you greatly admire. Go ahead, think about that for a second. Who do you greatly admire? And then identify the one thing that you admire about that person. And if you need to pause a minute, go ahead and hit pause. We're going to take a little exercise when we come back to class to kind of walk through some of this and identify how many of these have to do with our attitude or the attitude of that person that we admire versus their skill or somewhere in their appearance. Chuck Swindoll is somebody who I admire greatly in terms of his teaching, has influenced a lot of what I do. He says this: the longer I live, the more I realize the impact of the attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts, more important than the past, education, money, circumstances, failures, successes, appearances, giftedness, or skill, and more than what other people think. We can't change the past. Life is 10% what happens to me and 90% of how I react to it. So true in so many ways. So our attitudes are our most important asset. So without a great attitude, we will never reach our redemptive potential. And so again, it has a lot to do with how we react to the things that happen to us. And so our attitude, response, whatnot, says volumes to those around us. 94% of Fortune 500 companies attribute success to their attitude. Recognizing there's going to be downsides, there's going to be some hardships at times, but being able to get through that and get around that is a lot to do with our attitude. Here's a list of reasons why people get fired, and look and notice how many have to do with their own attitude. Inability to get along with folks, a negative attitude, refusal to follow instructions, all of that can have a great impact on how, again, how we are assessed and how we respond to the things that happen to us. So our attitudes determine what we see and how we handle our feelings. Here's what we see. There's a great story about a principal who took his top 3 teachers and told them that he's going to give them the top 90 percentile students in that particular grade. But the reality is they were the lowest 10%, but yet they achieved 20 to 30% higher than they did in previous years. And they attribute that difference towards the attitude of the teachers in their context. So, how do we handle our feelings? We can't control them, but we can allow our feelings not to stop us from doing things. We need to be aware of where those negative kind of feelings approach us or occur within the context of our lives. There's an alarming factor revealed that 1 out of every 5 victims of fatal accidents had a quarrel within 6 hours before his or her accident. Now, it's no mystery that many of us have driven angry. It's not a healthy thing to do, obviously. And so, again, handling our feelings is a big part of how we go about in the challenges that we face in life. Next, it's improbable for people with a bad attitude to continuously be a success. And there was a tattoo parlor who came across this tattoo, found it very common, that says "Born to Lose." And the guy kind of saw somebody coming out of it, parlor, and walked in and asked the owner, "Why are people getting this particular tattoo?" And he says, "Before tattoo on arm, tattoo is written on their hearts." And so it's a reflection of their own negative attitudes. Negative thoughts equal negative behaviors. The "I can't" or "I'm stupid" or "what an idiot." I struggle with this personally at times. I will call myself these kind of things. And, I'm trying to catch myself before they happen. But the reality is sometimes it does slip out. And so I have to be conscious of changing my attitude about things. I want to show you a clip here from Matt Damon, who plays in The Martian. And it's about him creating and growing potatoes. I couldn't quite get the scene to work here in my PowerPoint, so I went ahead and on YouTube and popped it up. So here is this clip from The Martian.
You take hydrogen, you add oxygen, you burn. Now, I have hundreds of liters of unused hydrogen at the NDB. If I run the hydrogen over an iridium catalyst, it'll separate into N2 and H2. And then if I just direct the hydrogen into a small area and burn it, luckily, in the history of humanity, nothing bad has ever happened from lighting hydrogen on fire. NASA hates fire because of the whole fire makes everybody die in space thing. So everything they sent us up here with is flame retardant, with the notable exception of Martinez's personal items. I'm sorry, Martinez, but if you didn't want me to go through your stuff, you shouldn't have left me for dead on a desolate planet. By the way, I'm figuring you're going to be fine with this, given my present situation. Counting on you. So, yeah, I blew myself up. Best guess, I forgot to account for the excess oxygen that I've been exhaling when I did my calculations. Because I'm stupid. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to work here just as soon as my ears stop ringing. Interesting side note, this is actually how the Jet Propulsion Lab was founded. 5 guys at Caltech were trying to make rocket fuel and they nearly burned down their dorm. And rather than expel them, banished them to a nearby farm, told them to keep working. Now we have a space program.
Do you love boating? Do you
yeah,
want
I
a
do. I love
hassle-free
boating.
boating experience? You need to check out Freedom Boat Club. Freedom Boat Club is your affordable alternative to boat ownership. Here's how it works. First,
Turn that down as soon as I find the... There we go. Don't need that anymore. So let's get back to our discussion a little bit here. So again, even though he identifies himself as an idiot, he goes back and looks at that as a learning experience and moves forward to create a positive change. So I'm going to pause right here for this just to take a little break and come back and finish our outline.